Wow, Renee, you just blew my mind. I just learned that you can search in the emoji toolbar. That is a game changer. Didn't know you could do that. Welcome in, everyone, to the PHLY Phillies pregame show. Our second of the year, because we did one on opening day, but we're doing another one today because we are presented by the wonderful people, and this is my cute. It's a crack of beer from the lovely people over at Miller Lite, bringing you today's watch-along viewing party pregame show. Tyler, a virtual cheers over there. So welcome in, everybody, to the pregame show as we are going to talk about today's game. Then we're going to eat food, hang out, and drink Miller Lites in here, watch the game along with you, do a little post-game show today, all brought to you by our friends over at Miller Lite. So very excited about that. Renee, last night was cool. Before we get into today's game, which gives you an opportunity again to take another series on the road, in no thanks to Nick Castellanos, who we'll get into, and of course, Johan Rojas. Golf swung a home run over the left field wall late in that game in the ninth inning. That was a beautiful moment for him, for the Phillies. It was really cool to see your boy Yo-Ro and Nick Castellanos do what they did last night. You saw a smile when Nick hit that to the opposite field. I felt his joy like a monkey was off his shoulders. So a really great win last night. Set you up for today and a chance to take the series before heading back home.
I'm just so happy.
Your young boy Yo-Ro.
I honestly wanted to cry tears last night. Yesterday was just too much of an emotional roller coaster for all things Philly sports, specifically with the Phillies. Who else could we have asked to step up? When we had talked with Jim Salisbury on the show earlier yesterday, we talked about how that next group, Bryson, Nick, Yo-Ro, what is it going to take for them to break through and be able to step up and help the team? And they answered the call. And later that day, late last night, we saw Nick Castellanos. That was like the initial one. Of course, Alec Boehm sets it up. Let's just give him his flowers because Alec Boehm had a fantastic close to an incredible month of April. The numbers that he put up, the hitting streak is continuing. The RBIs are continuing. But Nick Castellanos, top of the ninth, down to tie the game up. With a solo home run, and to see him be able to trot around the bases and that big Cheshire Cat smile. And then on top of that,
that was a good description, a Cheshire Cat smile. Yeah,
and then on top of that, you're like, okay, now the game's tied up, and your mind's thinking, we don't want to go, obviously, tied up bottom of the ninth. You want to at least see if you can get that go-ahead run. Yo-Ro stepping up. I was nervous. I don't know anybody else how you guys are feeling. I was very nervous, and When you see him, I think it's the second at bat, because I think the first, doesn't even matter. Knocks that ball out, and I'm like, it's going. And you just like, who else? Yo-Ro to have that moment to get a 2-run home run, his first home run of the season, only his second home run in the majors, and to deliver the game-winning play. For everybody that was ready to send him down and give up on Yo-Ro, this is why you give him time. We were talking about, is it going to be 5 games, 10 games? How much longer do you give him? Everybody was ready to send him down.
He must have watched the show because I set a date.
He clearly did.
And he was like, okay, I got you. I'm going to get ahead of this date.
Oh, my gosh.
By like 10
it was
days.
Just so incredible. And like the Phillies have continued to talk about, they're finding ways to win games. And last night was not pretty. It was not a perfect game. It was very up and down. But to find a way to still come out of that game with a win and off of the backs of 2 guys that needed that so much for morale, for confidence, to get that pressure off of them that they were able to deliver and lift the team up. Amazing, amazing. Just as amazing as you guys are in the chat, Yes, Jonathan might. We are getting more and more people saying Yo Ro. We told Jim yesterday, we're passing it along. Martian Lynch is talking about Nicholas Castellanos, Nicholas Cage Castellanos. And then Daniel Barry, what's up, Daniel? Happy Wednesday to Chris Slemmer, JP. Yes, he's saying that we should have got the aluminum in his Delco accent. I read that, JP. But we went with the cans for Miller Lite today. But either way,
I think we have some glass in the fridge as well.
We do. We got some other options.
We have options.
Listen, it's still early. It's still early in the day. We have our watch along show, and then we're gonna do our post game show. So lots of Miller Lites will be flowing, food will be going, and the Phillies better keep rolling.
Yeah, I mean things are great right now in Philadelphia sports. I mean Tyrese Maxey right into that. You kind of felt like, all right, well we got Maxey, so the Phillies, are going to lose this series. It is what it is. And then, the hottest player in baseball, maybe outside of Mookie Betts, Alec Boehm, gets it going, jump starts that comeback. And it was incredible. It was a really, really nice win. And now you set yourself up really nice with Zack Wheeler on the mound today. Now, Zack Wheeler's only faced the Angels twice in his career, once as a Met, and then again in June of 22 with the Phillies. And he's done all right. He went 6 innings last time with the Phillies, let up 6 hits, 2 earned runs, only 2 walks, a couple Ks, actually 9 Ks last time he faced the Angels. So you feel pretty good going into a series clinching kind of closeout before you come back home. And I think that would take you to 6-4 on the road trip.
So the road trip numbers are remarkable.
7-4.
Yeah.
7-3.
Mm-hmm. No, they're 6-3 coming into tonight.
2 to Cincinnati and then swept San Diego, and you lost game 1. So if you win today, it would be 7-3.
A 7-3 road trip, mostly out west. I mean, damn. And the Phillies, of course, because of that 7-3 potential road trip, 6-3 right now. Renee, they're the first team to 20 wins in baseball.
Woo!
And that's pretty amazing. I was talking in our Discord today with some of you Philly sickos, and shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get a little thumbs up action there. I was saying, it's kind of wild that they're the first team to 20 wins, not because we doubted they're a good baseball team, but when you think about some of the losses, and this might be part of the Braves' problem, that they play guys every single day, and come September, they're worn down.
We've said this.
There's been a couple instances where Rob Thompson has trotted out the Cowards lineup, and then when you factor in Brogdon, Dickie Beans, and Sir Anthony's kind of self-implosions to a degree, that's a good majority of their losses. So
correct.
When you think about if they were actually going for it, they could already be better than 20 wins instead of doing the smart thing, which is pacing out the long season, not burning arms, giving guys days off, playing favorable matchups, all the things that the Braves aren't doing.
Right.
It's wildly impressive that they have 20 wins already.
It is. The numbers that this team has put up in terms of wins and things like that are out of this world. As you guys mentioned, coming into today, 6-3 on this road trip. They've scored first in all 8 of their road games. Last night made number 9. So 9 up for 9 that they scored first. And then also scored at least a run in 6 of their 9 games. And also have been jumping on teams, getting a good lead. Now, last night, much like the night before, we did see them have kind of a flat line of get out, score 2-3 runs early, and then go cold a little bit. But for the Phillies to find a way to get the win yesterday, have 19 wins in the month of April, which is a franchise record, by the way, guys. The Phillies have never won 19 games in the month of April. They've now won 20 of their last 29. And on top of that...
Damn.
To be 20-11 overall is the 4th best record in baseball. Their best start through 31 games since 2011, and only the 9th time since 1901 that the Phillies have won at least 20 of their first 38 games to start the season. I mean, just so many records that this team is on par to, be at the best of the best for the Phillies, but also across the league. And a big part of that is, of course, the starting pitching. I know Todd Zlecki put out a piece talking about, breaking down each of the starting pitchers, and specifically for Zack Wheeler, was talking about how Zack has introduced a splitter this season that's getting him even more swings at pitches out of the zone. His chase rate is 10th out of 140 pitchers at 33.8%. His splitter's whiff rate is 35.9%. And his sweeper sitting at 45.5%. His curveball is at 40.7%. And he's just also doing a better job against lefties. Lefties are batting a 203 with a 632 OPS against him this year, whereas last year it was a 261 with a 722 OPS. So each player across this roster, definitely across the pitching staff, has been making strides and improving. And it's been so fun to watch that in this 1 month, we went from frustration. Think about where we were a month ago, guys. Frustration of the Braves series.
Sucked. It's not that we thought they were bad. It was just bad baseball to watch.
Well, here's the thing.
Now it's not. Now
Here's
it's
the
fun.
reality of it. In the last, 31 games, we've seen them play a really bad weekend series against the Braves. Really awful games in bad weather, monsoons and things.
God, a lot of
We've
rain.
seen them have awful lineups. You look at those 2 games they lost against the Reds, where Rob rolled out the JV-looking squad, or the 1A squad, I would say. JV's a little harsh. And then there's also been games of the Ricardo Pintos, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Connor Brogdon. So as you mentioned,
2 of those 3 are gone.
of those 11 games that they have
it's kind of
lost,
wild to think about. Like if they were actually full metal to the.
I would say it's probably been like 8 of their losses.
I mean, I think
you can
it
literally
probably
say.
is, but realistically, I think you could probably say like you could have 3 or 4 less losses.
Correct.
Easily.
It's at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, like and that's pretty crazy. They're showing you that this is a real deal World Series contender, and it's really exciting. So today's game. And we'll get into the Bet Parks preview a little bit through this. You have Zack Wheeler going against left-handed pitcher. You just mentioned the numbers. Some of the guys improving versus left-handed pitchers. Patrick Sandoval, Zack Wheeler, 2-3 on the year, a sub-2 ERA at 1.93. It's his 7th start of the year. This man is dealing. He has a .88 whip. He's only given up 2.7 walks per 9 innings and averaging 11.1 Ks per 9 in nearly 38 innings so far. The Phillies are just 2-4 in his 6 starts. On the road so far this year, he's 1-1, 2.08 ERA, 13 innings pitched, only 3 runs allowed, all earned, 1 home run given up, 13 Ks in 2 starts. Patrick Sandoval on the other side of that is 1-4 on the year with a 6.33 ERA. He's also making his 7th start. He's getting hit, and he's putting people on base, walking people. He has a 1.78 whip on the year. He's given up almost 4.8 walks per 9. He does average 9.3 Ks per 9, which isn't terrible. Their Angels are 2-4 in his starts. At home, he has a 5.06 ERA in 10 2/3 innings. With 6 earned runs allowed. So those are kind of, the numbers of the starting pitchers today. Heavily in favor of your Philadelphia Phillies with, Patrick Sandoval versus Zack Wheeler. This should be a kind of layup. And if you're going to, let's say make a layup, and you want to go to the Bet Parks app,
there it is.
You can get the Phillies on the money line today at -215. If you're a run line human, you like taking the run line over the money line, well, you can lay 1.5 run line with the Phillies at -125 on Bet Parks right now. And then, of course, they have some ready-made same-game parlays there waiting for you. You can bet on Zack Wheeler Ks. Let's take a quick look here. Zack Wheeler team Ks. Sorry, as I navigate this. Pitcher props.
Navigate that new computer.
Oh, yeah. How many passwords am I going to forget with this new computer? I can't wait to find out. You can take Zack Wheeler over 6.5 Ks, 7.5, 8.5. You can massage those odds in whatever you think he may do. I think he's going to go out and deal today because I think Zack Wheeler, as we know, is a gamer. This caps off a great road trip versus a bad pitcher the Phillies should pounce. So I think Zack Wheeler's going to have some Ks today. I might take a look at over 7.5 Ks at +100. Might go over 8.5 at +195. So Bet Parks always has you covered there. There's lots of stuff to get in on the action with. You might want to take the Sixers tomorrow night. There's some Champions League going on right now. They got everything for you, and money is in the moments. You can win big with all-day action. Win your first $10 bet and earn $125 in sports bonus bets. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet with Bet Parks. So download the app and play along with us. Must be 21 or older. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Jamie, make sure you got that number locked down for yourself.
I have no problem.
I will just say I love the fact that
My only problem is when I lose, but as long as you don't lose, it's fine.
Oh, that sounds toxic. That sounds toxic in itself.
It's a foolproof money-making strategy as long as you win.
Just don't lose. It's really simple.
Okay. Last night, we had some really big names, some really big plays, I should say, and guys stepping up. We saw Tyrese Maxey with the Sixers, obviously, 7 points in 17 seconds. Incredible to send to overtime. We saw Daniel Gazdag with the Philadelphia Union, although they lost, make history and become the club's leading goal scorer. We saw Alec Boehm continue his hitting streak, continue to show why he's one of the hottest, definitely right-handed batters in the league right now. And then also, of course, Yoro, Nick having some big plays down the stretch to help them seal the deal. I wonder who it's going to be tonight for the Phillies. Trey Turner had his 13th multi-hit game last night. Trey Turner was doing well until he wasn't. The chance that could have been a double play that led to eventually.
Oof.
I know, guys. I hate to be the Debbie Downer of the conversation, but we didn't talk about it, and I kind of wanted to talk about the fact that
don't do that today, Trey.
Trey had the ball bobble, 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 and
was that part turkey, part error?
That's part Trey Turner, bobble, 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 and to have that, what should have been a double play, should have been a nice, clean, easy, at least one easy out, led to 2 on base, which led to the 3-run homer by Luis, which led to the Phillies trailing.
Why am I
his
brain
fourth
farting?
error
Who came
of the
in
season.
right there? What pitcher was that?
That was during Junior Marte.
Junior Marte.
Yeah, Junior Marte was on the mound at that time.
He came in, did his job, got the ground ball,
but
double play.
I know.
And you knew that was coming. Like, when you see a play that bad and that routine just get booted, you know something
Correct.
bad is going to happen.
And Junior Marte, I don't blame him for that. But that
he got a great pitch.
While he was on the mound, he was a part of the downfall. But it was Trey that didn't make the play. But I'm wondering, all that. We even had Kyle Schwarber, another Schwarbomb, that 421-foot homer. He's got 8 home runs, 7 RBIs. The Phillies have been jumping out to a lead. Who today is going to help them keep that fire going? I hope Castellanos and I hope he, right field home run, like he pointed it out and everything.
That's kind of how you get out of it. Hitting opposite field home runs, like that gives you a confidence of like, okay, what I'm doing is right. I'm about to turn this corner. Positive thoughts, baby step. I hope he keeps it going. As Tyler pointed out today, we are going to get a little bit of an experience in left field.
What's happening, guys?
The lineup today is a different one. It's a little bit different. We're going to get a little Whit action. Let me pull up the exact lineup here.
It feels like it's been a minute since we've seen Whit Merrifield.
It has been. Stott's getting the day off because of the lefties, I believe. So the starting lineup today, Schwarber leading off, Trey Turner DHing. Hey, defensively, why don't you take a break today, Trey? Then in the 3-hole, you have Bryce Harper, the hottest man in baseball, Alec Boehm, batting in your cleanup spot, which is absolutely the right move these days. This guy's seeing beach balls at the plate. JT in the 5-hole, Castellanos in right in the 6th hole, Whit playing second, batting 7th, Sosa taking Turner's spot in the field, Whit's in the 6th, Sosa batting 7th, Christian Pache. So Johan Rojas gets the day off after being the big winner last night. Pache in the 9-hole there. So that's your lineup. It's different. Schwarber is playing left field. So let's hope Zack Wheeler doesn't put many balls in play, especially down the left field line. Merrifield taking over Stott. So Marsh, Rojas, and the bearded fellow. Marsh, Stott, and Rojas. Jeez, brain fart there.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, what just happened?
I think I glitched.
Wait, what? What'd you just say?
The bearded fella, Brandon Marsh.
Yeah,
getting the day off along with Bryson Stott and Christian or Johan Rojas. So those 3 get the day off.
Okay. Look, I misheard you.
And no, I glitched there.
I thought you called Johan the bearded fellow. I was like,
no. I had Johan and Stott, and then I was glitching on Brandon Marsh's name. So those
it's the Miller Lights kicking in. We didn't have our lunch yet.
I've had 3 sips.
You're drinking on an empty stomach.
So those guys all get the day off. Look, I already saw some of it in Discord. I'm sure some of the discussion on Twitter is going to be, you eventually have to play Marsh and Stott versus lefties. Yes, I agree with you. I think that's more a second half of the season type of thing. I think both of these guys have shown you that not only are they everyday players, but they're capable of facing lefties from time to time. Come playoff time, you don't get the luxury of sitting these guys versus lefties. They got to play. So in the first half of the year, if you want to stagger time off versus lefties situationally, I'm not going to complain about it. Second half of the year, though, if this type of situation is here and Patrick Sandoval, let's just use him as an example, is the guy who's getting pummeled this year, then if this is a game in August, I want Marsh and Stott playing. A game in May, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on that. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I do feel like you have to pick and choose your battles, and part of this longevity of the season is to like slow walk things.
Yeah.
Something like getting them out there against left-handed pitchers is not something that has to be done right now, because you also on the reverse side are trying to get guys like Whit Merrifield, Christian Pache, and Muno Sosa. You're also trying to get them going a little bit more. So today's a great day after last night's end to see if that momentum carries into today. You get those three going. They are three names that, let's be honest, have been getting opportunities that we want to get more from. So I'm okay with getting them some at-bats, getting them some quality time. Also, the whole move to have Trey be DH, maybe take some of that pressure off, because we've seen him with those 4 errors that he's made, and actually some plays that had originally been called an error, but then were ruled something different.
Scoring this year is wild.
You know, it's just been some odd plays that Trey's made. And on the reverse side, Kyle's been moving faster. He can play left field. Now, it's not someone you want in left field every day, but he can do it.
It's not going to kill you
and
for
so
one game.
for one day or however many couple of days, why not give Trey a chance to just focus on his at-bats without having to think about his play, his fielding.
Have a good day at the plate. Take a 20 milligram California legal gummy for the flight back home.
So I think it actually makes sense. And also on the reverse side, Kyle's playing really well right now. Knock on wood, that continues. He's playing really well right now.
He set a record for best April. I think home run was that home runs. It's his best April of his career with 8 or 9 home runs. So yeah, he's having a really good start. Trey and Bohm obviously are killing it. Johan has turned a serious corner these last 3 weeks. Stott, you think, is right there. Like, you know, Bryce Harper and JT, like they've shown flashes of it, but they haven't really done, like when all these, because it is going to happen where these guys all get going, at least more so than they are now. This team is pretty scary.
And that's the other thing. Now, Bryson Stott, although we still would love to see more from him, Yoro, Nick, like you could say Bryson Stott after his first ever career multi-homer game a couple games ago, Yoro getting his home run last night, the first of the season. Brandon Marsh continues to be Brandon Marsh. He's been consistent and steady. You also don't even need to force them. You know what you're going to get from them. You need to get those other guys going, because that's what some other teams like the Braves don't really do. They roll out the same lineup over and over again. And we don't want somebody peaking at the wrong part of the season, getting burnt out, getting injuries or fatigue at this early part. Love that they're at 20 wins, but also love that Rob's not like getting too caught up in, let's just stick with what's winning us games. No.
Yeah.
Tamper a little bit with the lineup. Mix some guys in, and that's why I'm feeling pretty good about this game 3 for my predictions.
I love them today. I mean,
I feel like that should be a good day.
What was the money line I said? It was let me check that out again. I love the Phillies today. I mean, Patrick Sandoval stinks. This lineup should be able to pounce them. Zack Wheeler is the opposite of stink. If you want to take the money line, you have to lay minus 220. It's usually about my breaking point on a money line. Like, I don't like going above 210, 215.
Okay.
But this to me, and the advice you're hearing is free, so take that for what it's worth. To me, this is kind of like a no shit, the Phillies are going to jump them type of game. Now, famous last words, because those words carry power, and I might have just jinxed myself. But you gotta, you gotta take a shot sometimes. So to me, I think this is a game the Phillies take control of. Now, let me tell you about our friends at Miller Lite before we get out of here, because Miller Lite today is presenting our watch-along party. What we're gonna have to do here in a minute is end this pregame show, and then we're gonna come back with a live link all game long, watch along. Renee and I picked up some Lee Hao Fook in Chinatown. You'll get to see me eat some wonton soup, which I'm sure is very exciting to all of you, and drink some cold, delicious Miller Lights. And it's going to be a watch-along party, and Miller Lite is the original light beer since 1975, and to this day, still the best one. Whether you're having a glizzy at the game, Miller Lite hits. Whether you're having some wonton soup and some Fook noodles, Miller Lite hits. It's good every time because it's less filling. It's not going to bloat you up, and it tastes like a beer should taste, which is a very simple concept. When I close my eyes and think of a cold, delicious beer, I think of Miller Lite and the taste of it, because a lot has changed over the years, but Miller Lite has remained the same. They keep it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste, and only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer should taste. Less filling, only 96 calories. The original light beer since 1975, and you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered directly to your door, just head to MillerLite.com/PHLY Phillies, or you can find it anywhere that sells beer, pretty much. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than a premium regular beer. All right, predictions before we get out of here and start our watch along, brought to us by our lovely friends at Miller Lite. I am going to go with a Zack Wheeler 7. I feel like we're due for a quick game because both these games previously have been teetering around 3 hours. A lot of bullpen moving pieces. I think Zack Wheeler goes 7 strong tonight. I think he's going to get, that line I talked about was 8.5. My gut said 8. I'm gonna say F it. I'm gonna say 9 Ks for Zack Wheeler today in 7 innings. I think he's gonna mow him down. I think the Phillies take care of the Angels. I'm gonna go with a little 6-2 spot. 6-2 Phillies. What do you think? What do you got, Renee?
Okay.
And Tyler, you're not getting off the hook here. You're giving your
be ready
prediction.
to put your face up there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Let me start on the scoring side.
And I think Castellanos gets a big double.
Okay, I was gonna say I do think today's gonna be a day for someone at the bottom of the batting order to come through. Christian Pache's only got 1 RBI in the season, 0 home runs. Of course, that was an RBI, the walk-off.
What is this, his 4th game? It's not much.
Not much at all. He's played.
Hi, Tyler.
You got me.
Oh wow.
I figured it out. Just start moving myself around.
Whit Merrifield has a home run, 2 RBIs on the season. I do feel like whether it's Whit, Christian, Nick, all the above, we're going to get some big production from the bottom of the lineup today. And I think the Phillies are going to open this up a little bit more. The Angels are deflated since Mike Trout's news broke that he has to get surgery on his meniscus, which is so sad to hear. But I do think this is a great chance. Pounce on the Angels, win I'm going to go 8-1.
All right.
I think it opens up a bit, and I do think Zach's going to go.
Put my feet up and drink some Miller Lite.
We're going to be sitting here eating our Chinese food and, laughing, talking, having a good old afternoon. And it will be a quick game, not 3 hours like the last 2 games. It'll be done in under 2.5. And then Zach's going to go probably 7 and 2/3 innings.
Love it. All right, Tyler, what's your prediction?
Hit. So the one thing I did notice, guys, is to try to figure out how to get myself back on this thing.
Where'd you go, Tyler?
This is a disaster. The one thing I did notice is that the Phillies will be facing Kevin Pillar again, as he's now in the Angels lineup after being DFA'd by the White Sox. But
Tyler wants a Miller.
This is eventually. This is an Angels team that has some sneaky pieces, but they're not overall a good team. Like Nolan Shadowell is a guy that gets on base, but he's not a true power guy. Luis Rengifo's been good this series, but I don't think he's yet to. I think that maybe he's due for a difficult day with Zack Wheeler.
Joe
on the mound.
Adell, I feel like, is on the doorstep of being really, really
Joe
good.
Adell's finally,
he's
finally figured it out.
Him make so many good plays.
Yeah.
It took a long time. He to me seemed for a while to be a quad A type of player, and now he's kind of broken out and figured it out. The power's always been there. It's just chase rates and things like that. This is. Individually, there's some decent players on this Angels team. It's a bad baseball team.
But they have an organizational stink to them.
It's a bad baseball team collectively. I agree with you, Jamie, on the Zack Wheeler front. I think Zack Wheeler is going to mow down some guys today.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think I'm not going to say he goes into the 7th. I think he goes 6 today.
Right.
They've got a couple of guys who grind out at bats and who are going to make him work a little bit, but I do think he has a high strikeout rate. I'm going to take the Phils in this one 4-2.
So you like that over 9.5 Ks, or you think
it depends. If he gets
plus 195 on bet parts.
If he goes into the 7th, I would consider it. If he pitches 6, it's hard to strike out 9 of 15 or 9 of 18 batters. It's half your batters.
Do it, you coward.
I'm going to say dependent upon. I'm going to say no because I don't think he pitches into the 7th. But if he does pitch into the 7th, then I will say yes.
Well, guys, we got to wrap this up. I know Provolone John's already in the watch along waiting for us. Clearly, nobody's there because we're still here, but we're going to be
there momentarily.
Over.
We need 5 to 7 minutes to just kind of get set up here technologically and get the game on so we can watch it. Renee and I are going to eat our Chinese, drink some of these delicious cold Miller Lights, and watch along with you. Hopefully you can join us. We love and appreciate all of you. See you at the watch along momentarily, guys. Go Phils.
We all silly like the mayor.